It's one of the great turnaround stories in the NFL. And today the 49ers can take the next step with a win. They clinch the NFC West division title. From Candlestick Park, it's the NFL on Fox. The 2-9 Rams visiting the 9-2 San Francisco 49ers. Hi, along with Tim Ryan. I'm Chris Myers, and we're glad you're with us in what should be, Tim, a landmark day. We know that Jim Harbaugh, in his first year as head coach, has transformed the 49ers into winners. But unlike the glory days of the past with explosive offense, they're about defense. In fact, they've allowed the fewest points in the NFL.
Well, no doubt this turnaround for the San Francisco 49ers has been led by the defense. They've been the catalyst the whole way through, especially, Chris, when you talk about the front seven, the guys that play the closest to the line of scrimmage. Start with Justin Smith up front. This guy will rock you. He sets the tone physically for this football team. You'll be hard-pressed to find a guy that plays harder for 60 minutes than Justin Smith. He can take over the line of scrimmage. Then you look at the linebacker, Patrick Willis. He sets it emotionally when you talk about setting the tone. And you will not find, again, looking around the league, a backer more complete right now than Patrick Willis. So no doubt the defense has set the tone.
All right, the Rams are going to start A.J. Feely at quarterback, Sam Bradford with a bad ankle. We know that Steven Jackson carries the load. And for Frank Gore, with 22 yards, he becomes the all-time career rushing leader for the 49ers.
Well, and a chance for a real special day for Frank Gore, and he's earned it when you think about his career. Now, his numbers have dipped a little over the last couple of weeks with an injury to his ankle, but he has a chance to have a monster day today against the Rams, who have got the worst run defense in the National Football League.
And, of course, Steven Jackson, anxious to go. He's used to these rivalry games.
And remember, Steven, he's the last guy with a rushing touchdown against this 49er defense, so he's got a chance to do something special today as well.
The defense proud. They have not given up a rushing touchdown this year. 49er royalty is in the house. He's been had a hand in some of the 17 previous NFC West division titles. Joe Montana is here to maybe crash the party. And it's beautiful by the bay. Blue skies, 60-degree temperatures, a light wind, not much at all. Shouldn't have much of an effect on the kicking game or the throws, at least as we start. And no chance of rain. The 49ers will receive. The Rams won the toss, but deferred. So Ted Ginn back to receive. 3 career kickoff returns for a touchdown. Remember, he had one in the opener against Seattle when he also ran a punt back. Niners coming off that Thanksgiving night loss to Baltimore. They've had plenty of time to think about what could be the clinching game. And we're underway. Rams and 49ers from Candlestick. And it's Kyle Williams on the return. Make that Ted Ginn Jr. Check that out to the 29-yard line, where Alex Smith, slow and steady on offense, will lead the 49ers. And again, at wide receiver, Braylon Edwards, that shoulder knee, he is out. So Ted Ginn will start at wide receiver.
Yeah, and I think the tight ends, Vernon Davis, and you'll see a lot of Delaney Walker. They have a chance to have big days today against that Rams defense. Up front, getting Adam Snyder back in the lineup, I think, will prove to be huge. They really missed him at Baltimore last week. Thanksgiving Day when he went out with that hamstring injury.
And we will see some of Kyle Williams in a receiver role. We welcome those of you who watch the Falcons and the Texans. Tim Ryan, Chris Myers on first down. Alex Smith gives to Frank Gore. And Frank Gore across the 35-yard line. He came in averaging 4.5 yards a carry. Checking the Ram defense, and Chris Long going, even though the ankle cost him some practice time. He's had a sack in each of the last 5 games.
He's playing great, 10 sacks on the year. Much better at the defensive tackle spot last week in that game against Arizona. James Laurinaitis leads him in the middle. And then the back end, Craig Dahl is out there for Darian Stewart at safety. They are going to miss Darian Stewart today. And as we all know, the Rams have been just hammered with injuries at the cornerback position.
Second down, 2. Alex Smith has it on the run near the first down marker and knocked hard out of bounds by James Laurinaitis. That was one of the things. Alex Smith, who is closing in on his career high in rushing yards for the season, he said, use your legs. That's what Jim Harbaugh told him when you have to.
Absolutely, and he wanted his running back out in the flat on a check down, but as Coach Harbaugh told him, look, be your own check down. Use your legs and run. And Look at that turnaround, especially against pressure. And that's going to come in handy today because I'm telling you, the St. Louis Rams send more exotic looks and pressures than most people around the NFL. San Francisco thought they got a lot out of Baltimore with pressure last week. They'll see more this week against the Rams.
It is a 1st and 10. Smith, quick pass and completes to Vernon Davis. Alex Smith said that Harbaugh made it easy when he came in, that I don't have to do too much, just do what I can do. He said, quarterbacks in the past, it's as if you had magic dust. Just get the guys to do this, make something happen.
Yeah, he really emphasized us that he feels like all I have to do is do my job. I'm one of 11 guys. This offense is really tailor-made for him with all the stuff he does at the line of scrimmage and diagnosing the defense and the opportunity to change the plays. See what he's doing right there? This is the MO of Alex Smith.
Pass complete again to Davis. Not much. It'll bring up 3rd and long, just short of the 40. And both times, Josh Gordy.
It's the same play. They ran the same play 2 times in a row. And I'll tell you something. Josh Gordy, he wasn't even with this team in training camp. The cornerback for the St. Louis Rams, and as we all know, they've got 6 corners on injured reserve. They've had backups to the backups out there playing. And this guy every week in a complex system that Steve Spagnuolo runs, the head coach, and really runs the defense, he has a lot out of those corners. And Josh Gordy has gotten much better week in and week out.
So on 3rd and 8, 6 defensive backs in for the Rams. Threatening pressure. Kendall Hunter is the back. Alex Smith, and it's knocked away at the last moment. Vernon Davis the target, but Quentin Michael from his safety spot, who has 2 interceptions this year, was on the spot.
Now that was a super play by Quentin Michael, who's played much better over the last month for sure.
You mentioned Darian Stewart out with that concussion. Part of that Rams secondary had played improved football despite the injuries, and Andy Lee, who leads the NFL with an average of nearly 51 yards, back to boot. Nick Miller set to return for the Rams. Now a punt return for a touchdown last Sunday. He's going to let this one go, and it bounces into the end zone where the Rams will take over on the 20-yard line after a 61-yard punt. And here is A.J. Feely at age 34. His 3rd start this season. He staged the upset of the Saints when the Rams were winless, and he gets the start for Bradford.
Yeah, and remember, he had the highest scoring output of the year with those 31 points. Brandon Lloyd has been a huge shot in the arm. Jacob Bell, the left guard, is the only one in his position that he started the season with. Harvey Dahl and Adam Goldberg, both guards in a perfect world because of injury. They've had to play tackle.
Steven Jackson, maybe a yard. Jackson with a 4.7-yard average, and he'll have a tough time against a defense that only allowed 75 yards on the ground.
And those big dudes set the tempo. I mean, you mentioned #1 in scoring defense. They're #1 in run defense. They really, those linemen, set a wall and allow all those linebackers to scrape and make tackles. And the secondary has certainly tightened up this year.
We welcome those of you who saw the Broncos stage a dramatic win in Minnesota. Steven Jackson, the 2nd straight carry. Tim Wright, Chris Myers here in San Francisco. Audiences joining us. 49ers won the toss, forced to punt after gaining a 1st down. And the Rams' first possession facing a 3rd down against the stingiest defense and the best tackling defense in the NFL. Statistics prove that so far.
And talking to A.J. Feely before the game, these are the exact situations he wanted to avoid. 3rd and 6 or more. Tough to convert.
He threw it behind Austin Pettis, the slot receiver. It'll be 4th down Rams.
Well, and the 49ers not known as a pressure group. You're going to see Navarro Bowman. He comes up inside the in route to the other side from Austin Pettis. And a good job by him really kind of slow jogging it off the line to give the route some time to develop. That just wasn't a good throw from A.J. Feely, who threw it behind him.
Pettis looked open had he been led. Donnie Jones back to punt for the Rams. And it is Ted Ginn waving everybody away. Lets it bounce. And the 49ers will have excellent field position as they try and close in on their first division title since 2002. You're watching the NFL on Fox from the Bay Area in San Francisco, and Frank Gore, who had 1 carry for 8 yards, 14 yards away before he surpasses the great Joe the Jet Perry and becomes San Francisco's all-time career rushing leader. Kendall Hunter is in on 1st and 10, wide open and completing to Michael Crabtree. Crabtree with a first down out to midfield after a 14-yard gain.
And a great call versus pressure off the slot. Then the outside backer, Chamberlain, does not get to the outside. He's going to play it on the play action fake. Boy, that was just a perfect play call from Greg Roman against that pressure coming off the slot. And then the linebacker, Chamberlain, bit it as well.
Ted Ginn splits out to the left. Number Braylon Edwards inactive, and Frank Gore in the backfield. This is Gore. The Reds bottle him up. Let's get a game break and check in with the one-man show, Terry Bradshaw.
What do you say, Chris Myers? Oh, 3rd play of the game. Giants hosting the Green Bay Packers. There it is. Eli Manning finding the tight end, Travis Beckham. Post route, inside, outside, back inside, 7-0. It is an early Giant lead over the undefeated Green Bay Packers. Back to Chris and Tim.
All right, thank you. And the 49ers playing for, we thought, the number 2 seed in the division title. Maybe, you never know. Even better than that if the Packers don't keep their roll going. That's Ted Ginn. Knocked out at the 45 by Gordy. Braylon Edwards, the new addition, had the knee injury, then the shoulder injury. Now, Jim Harbaugh said he thought he could come back next week, but he just really hasn't had the impact they hoped.
Well, and I think it's more of the knee than the shoulder at this point. And they'll tell you, look, Ted Ginn has gotten much better as a wide receiver, and he did have the big touchdown that was called back on the illegal chop last week. But Jim Harbaugh and Alex Smith, they've had good things to say about Ted Ginn this year as a wide receiver.
Let it roll, let it roll.
On 3rd and 5. Smith. What a grab at the 35-yard line by Kyle Williams.
And because of Braylon's absence and Ted becoming the number 2, Kyle Williams becomes the 3rd receiver out of the slot. Watch, he's going to pivot inside and then break back outside. Bang, and then back outside. Perfectly thrown ball from Alex Smith. The timing on that was absolutely flawless as the receiver made his outbreak. Alex had already let go of the football.
Kyle Williams, the son of Ken Williams, general manager of the White Sox, as Frank Gore carries again. That Kyle Williams was drafted by the White Sox out of high school, also a terrific baseball player. Had to turn down his dad and his dad's team to pursue an NFL career.
Well, there's Big Ike, Isaac Sapuaga, the nose tackle, who goes in and plays offense. And the beauty of Jim Harbaugh, and there's Jim there, the head coach, while everybody in the National Football League has gone with all the spread sets, the 3, 4, and even sometimes 5 wide receivers, Jim Harbaugh has gone with the heavy sets with all the tight ends and using even defensive linemen on the line of scrimmage.
On 2nd and 9. Smith completes to Davis underneath, and he's still fighting down at the 22-yard line. Vernon Davis been busy already with his 3rd catch of the game.
Well, and he's just been a Rams slammer over the years. He's going to run a crossing route, and it's okay up until Chamberlain misses the tackle. And that's what Vernon's able to do with that great athleticism and that great skill. I mean, look at the 2 moves. One running away from Chamberlain, and then a shake and bake on the corner. For a guy 250-plus pounds, he's not supposed to be able to move like that. Awesome.
Let it roll, let it roll. Run, AD.
Frank Gore. Rams are ready for him once again. You know, the Rams in the bigger picture, they lost their first 6 games. They upset the Saints to get a win with A.J. Feely. They win 2 out of 3, and they thought they were getting a break in their schedule, and then they lose back-to-back games in the NFC West, and now they get the leaders who could clinch on this day if San Francisco wins.
That's right. I know a lot of folks, a lot of the so-called experts around the league, picked the Rams to win the division. And then the injuries really hit them hard. Their defense, though, and I know they gave up a bunch of yards to Beanie Wells last week on 2 runs, but they have played much better collectively.
A handoff to Kendall Hunter, and it'll bring up 3rd down just inside the 19-yard line. Yeah, the Rams, you could tell James Laurinaitis was still angry about Beanie Wells' 200-plus last week, and that's something that keeps Steve Spagnuolo up at night. You know, all the other things he deals with, but stopping the run and his defense against the run, that's something he usually prides himself and his teams on.
Absolutely, and they just got caught on a couple of edge plays where they were running blitzes to the opposite side, and frankly just got caught, and Beanie had some big runs outside. But you just saw Freddie Robbins, those defensive tackles, their play is uptick. They played their best game last week.
On 3rd down, Smith's throw in the air and incomplete for Crabtree, but off his hands. It'll bring up a 4th down and a field goal try.
Well, and it's man coverage. Michael Crabtree's got to catch this football. They're going to run Delaney off on the corner route, Crabtree on the slant route. There's nobody in here. Everybody's playing man coverage. You see Laurinaitis is on the tight end. If Crabtree catches that football, he's got to maybe shake one guy at about the 8-yard line, and he walks into the end zone.
A 36-yard field goal try from the ex-Eagle David Akers. He's having a terrific year. Akers, 28 out of 33, has had 3 kicks blocked. Snap kick hold. And the 49ers grab an early first quarter lead. We emphasize the 49ers have done it with defense. Well, their special teams has been terrific all season long.
Well, they've been great in kick coverage. They've been great in punt coverage. Their return units have been outstanding. A lot of credit to the assistant head coach and special teams coach, Brad Seeley, who I think is one of the best in the business.
Crowd anxious as Quinn Porter, averaging 22 yards a return, has yet to get one into the end zone. Ready to receive Akers' boot. Looking into the sun, lets it bounce, so the Ram offense will take over at the 20-yard line. Again, A.J. Feely trots out with Steven Jackson. The Rams trail 3-0. Number 1 defense in the NFL. 7 of these starters have not missed a game, so they've had continuity, but they've dominated every category.
Oh, yeah, and the most important categories when you look at those.
On first down, the Rams have scored only 11 offensive touchdowns in 11 games as Austin Pettis goes up the sideline for a St. Louis first down.
Well, that's a good block by Denario Alexander, who's missed 5 games. Here he is. He's here matched out wide, and watch him get a nice block on Paris Harrelson, a linebacker. He's able to get to the outside and seal the outside for Austin Pettis.
We have an injured Ram down on the field. And we will check on the injury to Adam Goldberg and continue in a moment. Offensive line injuries continue for the Rams. Goldberg is out. Thomas Welch, signed off the Buffalo practice squad last week, is in. On first down as Feely sets the throw and completes to Britt Miller. And he gets a first down up near midfield.
Now that's a rare occasion. Patrick Willis missing a tackle, and now he's down.
And he is having another Pro Bowl year. Patrick Willis, who's been an Iron Man and a tackling machine, looks like he's in pain. 18-yard completion, Feely to Miller, gives the Rams a fresh set of downs, but 49er fans concerned with Willis's injury.
Well, you watch Patrick as he was coming off and had the running back, the fullback, in man coverage, and he doesn't miss tackles. I mean, this defense doesn't miss tackles. So he is all over him. Now he doesn't get his head across, And Miller runs right through the arm tackle, and it looks like Patrick right away started reaching for the back of his leg.
We barely got through the Adam Goldberg injury, and looks like he's able to come back for the Rams, or at least is hoping to get back onto the offensive line. Willis, who's led the 49ers in tackles, given that roll up to Navarro Bowman, who leads the team with 121, but they've been outstanding. While they tend to Patrick Willis, let's check in with Terry for a game break.
All right, Chris. Giants up early, 7-0. Back come the Green Bay Packers out of the pocket. Rodgers finally, his tight end, Jermichael Finley. There it is, 12-yard touchdown. We are now tied up 7-all in the second quarter. Back to Chris Myers and my buddy Tim Ryan.
Thanks, Terry. Got a scoring fest going early in America's Game of the Week, and this is not good news no matter how you look at it.
Oh, he's the heart and soul of that defense, and reached right away for the back of that right leg when he went down. So the biggest thing you hope, even if it's something that's going to keep him out today, you've absolutely got to put your hands together and hope that it doesn't keep Patrick out long term. And you watch right away after he immediately reaches for the back of that back leg for the hamstring area.
Former Ram Larry Grant is in for him at linebacker for the injured Patrick Willis. And there goes Steven Jackson. And the 49ers meet him hard. And Navarro Bowman, who we just mentioned, is the team's leading tackler, the roommate in training camp with Patrick Willis on the stop.
And that's a huge thing. I mean, we've seen Adam Goldberg go down. We've seen Patrick Willis go down, one from each team over the last couple of minutes. And so much part of this league in the injuries. Nobody's been hit harder than Steve Spagnuolo and his football team here in number 3 with injuries really at critical positions, in particular corner. And then you look at Jim Harbaugh on the other side. And they've been very, very lucky and have stayed relatively healthy for most of the season at every position.
Now whistle, the flag, and confusion.
False start, 64 offense. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
That's on former 49er Tony Rogge, who they moved to center, 6 seasons in San Francisco. Pete Morelli, the principal at St. Mary's High School in Stockton, California, our referee today.
Mr. Morelli to you. Don't forget that.
We will treat him with respect so we don't get demerits. Second down, 13 after the penalty. 49ers with a 3-0 first quarter lead.
Goldberg's back in at left tackle.
Quickly has to get rid of it low and incomplete for Lance Kendricks. And good pressure from Ahmad Brooks.
And I expect a lot of this out of St. Louis today. The quick pass, the little sprint out, the bootleg game, getting A.J. Feely out of the pocket. Ahmad Brooks wasn't taking the bait that time. And he is by far, we've watched a lot of 49er football over the last few years. He is by far having his best season as a pro, whether it be in Cincinnati or here with the 49ers. Brooks is having a very, very good year.
On 3rd and 13. Pass is complete to Nick Miller. It'll be 4th down. A.J. Feely, we have not seen him go in the area of Brandon Lloyd so far.
I mean, you're going to see the 49ers putting 2 guys over Brandon Lloyd most of the day, because since he's gotten to St. Louis when they traded, and it's going to end up being a 5th-round pick now for him because he's gotten the 30 catches here with the Rams. They target him 12 times per game, and the 49ers know it.
Donnie Jones. Take good. 49ers will take over at the 14-yard line, but concern here with the injury to Patrick Willis. Patrick Willis on his way, we would expect, to his 5th Pro Bowl, dealing with the injury, and we will check on that. Jamie Maggio is down on the field by the 49ers sideline. In the meantime, the offense, which has mustered only a field goal so far, takes over on 1st down. Frank Gore in the backfield, 11 yards away from 49er history. Gore with a chunk of yardage across the 17-yard line. his 5th carry of the game.
And he does such a great job of being patient on that power play behind the pulling guard, and Iupati's going to get out and lead the way. But watch how Frank just almost hides behind his left guard, and just with that low pad level and just kind of hiding, gets behind the fullback, and then he pops out. You know, Frank is one of those guys. It'll be 1 yard, 2 yards, 2 yards, 1 yard, and then he will blow one up for a big explosion run when he pops out and gets out of the gate.
The rookie from Oklahoma State, Kendall Hunter, in the backfield. Hunter carries. He's quick. Cut down short of the first down by Craig Dahl. Hunter's only 5'7", but racked up some impressive numbers for those amazing Oklahoma State Cowboys who are on their way to a big bowl game.
Yeah, well over 4,000 yards with Oklahoma State. Really was a great 4th-round pick by Trent Baalke. He really was. It's been impressive every time he's gotten the ball, and I'll tell you where you got to really like him as well. Not just as a runner, he's solid as a blocker, Chris, in pass protection.
On 3rd and 1.
Oh, that kills you. That kills you.
We didn't move. We didn't move. We did not move.
The Rams are pointing at the 49ers, and the 49ers are pointing at the Rams.
And Jim Harbaugh is helping the officials.
Encroachment. Number 95 defense. 5-yard penalty. Result of the penalty is a first down.
That's on Justin Bannon, who's playing with a bad shoulder and toughing it out for Steve Spagnuolo's defense, but has played well inside.
Yeah, he has, but there's no excuse for that on 3rd and short, and it's an automatic first down. I mean, you just can't do that, especially when you're an interior defensive lineman, and we're all taught as defensive linemen, keep your eye on the ball. And Justin Bannon anticipated the snap count that time, and Alex Smith with a very good hard count, and the inflection in his voice got him to jump off sides and get the easy first down.
Frank Gore carries. The Rams today so far have had his numbers. He gets across the 30-yard line. There were some skeptics about this 49er offense and this team saying, oh, were they exposed after what happened in Baltimore? Of course, the Ravens defense can do that to a lot of teams.
Yeah, I think a big part of that, and we'll all talk about the 9 sacks, but I think a big part of that where the 49ers were really behind the 8 ball in terms of the play clock and how they functioned that night on the road with that loud crowd noise, and they just simply did not adjust up front with their protections when Baltimore was changing things up.
That's the end of the first quarter, a defensive struggle. That's what the 49ers do well. They have a 3-0 lead over the rival Rams.
An update for you on Patrick Willis. The 49ers staff is calling it a hamstring injury. At this point in time, they're saying his return is doubtful. Chris, Tim, back to you.
Thanks, Jamie. Injuries, you won't get any sympathy from the Rams. I know in the Bears loss today, Matt Forte left injured.
Yeah, and that really hurt him. You can see that written all over Patrick's face. He's just ultra disappointed with what went down with that pulled hamstring.
On 2nd down 6. Frank Gore needs 2 yards for the all-time rushing record as Crabtree makes a tough catch and still gets across the 45-yard line.
Well, this is a good route and a good throw, just right on time. Watch as he spins. The ball's already there, and then Michael Crabtree able to break the tackle and then carry another defender another 5 yards. And talking to Alex Smith and watching these 49ers, Chris, over the last 5 or 6 weeks, he has played his best football without question with this football team. They just need his production in terms of the end zone to go up. He's only got 1 touchdown.
Frank Gore fighting before Craig Dahl brings him down. And for Frank Gore, 7 carries early in this game, but the Ram defense has been up to the task.
Yeah, and this is, they've only had the ball for not quite 4 minutes, but that's going to have to change at some point. Nobody's been able to run on the San Francisco 49ers really all season, but they're going to need Steven Jackson to get it going if they're going to have a chance.
They're giving Gore 2 yards on that carry. On second down, Alex Smith goes down. James Laurinaitis. The middle linebacker who celebrated his 25th birthday yesterday got in on Alex Smith.
Yeah, and it's a broken protection. You're going to watch Snyder ends up blocking down and just goes with his man protection, and James Laurinaitis comes in scot-free. Anytime you're playing a team like the St. Louis Rams, who run a lot of fire zone blitzes, which means they're firing one guy, so it's a five-man pressure and they're playing zone behind it. If you get free runners most of the time, an unblocked guy, it's because of a breakdown in protection.
3rd and 16. That's Kendall Hunter out of the backfield, short of the first down. This may be close enough where Jim Harbaugh would consider going for it.
Especially with your defense. As much as Jim Harbaugh trusts his defense, and they're going to punt.
Here comes Andy Lee.
Now Jim's calling him back off the field and saying,
there goes Andy Lee. And the crowd loves it.
Yeah, now this is hurry up. You see the old shuffle of the hands. Let's go. The play clock's clicking. This offense has got to get it rolling. Down to 10. Look at, they're going to have to do something here.
They need 2 yards. You lose the trying to draw them off sides.
Play clock, delay a game.
And that might have been by design if you don't get the call.
False start, number 68 offense, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
It's on Adam Snyder, the right guard. So now Andy Lee will punt. And just for the record, Frank Gore has tied Joe Perry, so the drama builds for the 49ers all-time rusher. He'll have to wait for the next time he touches the football. Meantime, Nick Miller back to receive the punt, and Andy Lee ready to give it a boot. Talked about the special teams of the 49ers between David Akers and Andy Lee, Pro Bowl kickers. Now they got that market corner.
Yeah, and that was, as you said, it was a false start on the right guard, Adam Snyder. There still was. I was wrong. There was 4 seconds left on the play clock when Alex Smith was trying to make the adjustment at the line of scrimmage.
Fair catch called for. They wanted to pin him inside the 13, inside the 15, and that's what they did. 49ers with a 3-0 advantage here in the second quarter.
Today's game is sponsored by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. By Verizon, your holiday smartphone destination. And by Chevrolet and their award-winning cars, trucks, and crossovers.
The crowd up and cheering. They announce here at the stadium officially Frank Gore has passed Joe Perry for the most rushing yards in 49er history, 7,345. Meanwhile, Steven Jackson carries for the Rams on first down. Gore has been in his 7th season the heartbeat of this football team.
Well, he has been the heart and soul, no question. And look at the 2 guys that he has passed. Of course, Joe Perry today for the all-time leader. And I loved all the offseason stuff where a lot of folks thought Frank Gore was done in the media with his hip injury. He finished last year and with the hip injury, and he has come back with a vengeance. Congratulations to him. No one has earned it as much as Frank Gore has.
Feely at 2nd and 9. Incomplete. Pettis was in the area.
On Austin Pettis, and they like that matchup with Austin Pettis out of the slot today. They told us that point blank. He against Carlos Rogers for a good portion of the game. He ran an in route, and A.J. Feely, the quarterback, threw an out route. Clearly not on the same page.
So 3rd and 9 from the 14-yard line. Remember, Larry Grant is in for Patrick Willis because of a hamstring injury at linebacker.
Watch this matchup here with Aldon Smith on Adam Goldberg.
The ball is out, and that's a fumble, and the 49ers have it. Aldon Smith, the rookie, is on the loose football for the recovery.
And it looked like Isaac Sapuaga was the one that knocked it out.
Feely back to throw and nothing but air forward.
And there's Aldon. He recovers it. Let's keep our eye on Ray McDonald, is the guy that knocked it out, I believe. Watch, Ray McDonald's going to turn around, and he just gets his right hand in there, and he knocks it out. It's the right hand right there. You see the tape on his fingers. He knocks it out. That's clearly a fumble. The empty hand coming forward. And Aldon Smith, who ran the corner on a speed rush, was there for the recovery. Huge play. Huge play by Ray McDonald.
49ers lead the NFL in takeaways. They just got another one. Frank Gore inside the 10. Chris Long on the tackle. And the Rams have fumbled the most times. It's a bad formula when you mix it together. And how about Ray McDonald? All 4 years in high school, his team won the championship. Then he went to Florida. They won a college football title. And he's hoping for success here with the 49ers.
And really has not gotten enough credit in terms of the type of player he is. Trent Baalke and the 49ers know it, and they rewarded him with a big contract.
And so Isaac Sapuaga and Alex Boone have checked in on offense. Second down goal. Frank Gore has it. Frank Gore, no. To the goal line before Laurinaitis kept him out of the end zone.
And anytime you're going to run on the perimeter, you've got to get a seal block. You got to get a seal block and a kick-out block. And Isaac Sapuaga got a great seal block from the H-back position. Watch him here. He's going to come in motion. Look at all 330 pounds of him. And then watch him take James Hall and then just twist him back to the inside and create the soft edge for Frank Gore, who comes up about a half yard short. Great job by Isaac Sapuaga.
Third and goal. Frank Gore smothered. What a stand by the Ram defense, and Craig Dahl leading the way. Here comes the field goal unit.
That's great penetration, really good penetration by the Rams front on the interior, because they build a big wall and they stuff the puller and they stuff the fullback, and they end up making Frank Gore jump sideways. And as soon as you do that on the goal line, Dahl ends up being able to clean it up because Frank had to stutter step and go sideways. Good job across the board.
Will be a 20-yard field goal from David Akers, who made one earlier. Snap hold and the kick. 49ers get 3, but it's a win for the Ram defense, keeping Gore and the 49ers out of the end zone. Tomorrow on Fox, country music's biggest event of the year. Performances by country's biggest stars. Trace Atkins and Kristen Chenoweth host the American Country Awards, and you'll see it live tomorrow only on Fox. Sam Bradford, who has been bothered with an ankle injury, is feeling better, re-aggravated, and a scratch. We talked with him yesterday. He was still hoping to play, but the word no, and so Feely got the start. Quinn Porter lets it go. And the Ram offense will take over at the 20-yard line. So far, nothing from the offense. Rams 49ers, one of the longest running rivalries in the NFL, playing since 1950. One win separating for 120 plus games. On first down, Feely's throw. Austin Pettis catches it and is spun down at the 37-yard line.
What a terrific catch. And Deshaun Goldson looked like he flashed right in front of it and had a hand up the safety, and Austin Pettis, who's going to end up running an in route, there's the safety there who reads the ball. And then look at the concentration on the catch.
And a good catch in the shadows as you see the scores down below. The Rams hoping for an upset here. How about the Cardinals leading Dallas 3-0 in the second quarter? This is Jarius Norwood. And Let's check in with Terry Bradshaw for a game break.
All right, Chris Myers with the Giants leading 10-7. First play of the second quarter, Manning under pressure. Throws it for Ahmad Bradshaw. Throws it late. There he is. Clay Matthews steps in front. 38 yards later, we got an interception return for a touchdown. It's 14-10 now. Packers on top of the New York Giants. Back to Chris Myers and Tim Lang.
All right, Terry, sounds like you're having fun as always.
When they start scoring on defense, there's going to be a real problem trying to bring down the Packers and give them their first loss.
Jarius Norwood in for Jackson as the running back on second down. Penalty flag. Lloyd makes the catch and falls near, a little bit short of the first down marker.
Looked like Paris Harrelson got chopped down. It was the line judge or the head linesman over here that threw the flag right at the line of scrimmage as he had his eyes in the backfield.
Personal foul, chop block, number 34, offense. 15-yard penalty, still second down.
So it is on running back Jarius Norwood.
And Paris Harrelson, 98, is the one that ends up getting chopped. And let's see what happens here. If Norwood chops him low, he absolutely does. And then you've got him engaged up top with Adam Goldberg. That's a lot like the play that Frank Gore got flagged for, although I thought there was a much bigger gray area in the Baltimore game when Frank Gore and Shiloh Ray-Shaw got called for it and the touchdown got called back versus that one. To me, that one was black and white, clear cut.
Meanwhile, the Rams now second and 25. Norwood carries. It'll be third and long. You talked about it. 49ers at Baltimore. And the pass to Ted Ginn Jr. for what? 75 yards for a touchdown.
Yeah, and here it is. And you'll see Frank Gore. He chops down low, and Shiloh Ray-Shaw gives a little push on the rear end up high. And there is in the rule book a rule on a reverse chop. We all look at an illegal chop as a high-low, where an offensive lineman's engaged up high, and then the guy chops him down low. That was the reverse chop. But typically for it to be called, it's got to be simultaneous with the low and the high, like the one we just saw from Norwood. I thought there was a lot of gray area in that one, and I would have preferred a no call.
They're running on 3rd and 23 to Steven Jackson. You're a 2-9 team. You're playing your rival in the division. You're trailing 6-0.
And you're also in 3rd and forever, and you got your back against your own wall, and you're playing against a defense that's #1 in the NFL in turnovers. Punt and try to play some defense.
Well, the Rams have played plenty of defense. They've kept in 2 red zone trips. All the 49ers have field goals. You're not exactly punting to somebody who just lets the ball go. Look out for Ted Ginn. He waves for the fair catch inside the 35-yard line where the 49ers will take over on offense. And there's the all-time leading rusher for San Francisco, Frank Gore.
Chris, I told you how Frank Gore, the running back, loves to play hide and seek when he's running that power play. He also likes to do it over on the sideline when he's getting ready to come out for a series. Behind big Adam Snyder and Joe Staley.
He's only 5'9". Kendall Hunter's 5'7". It's the all-small backfield with those two. 1st and 10, Alex Smith.
Kill. Red 80. Red up.
High and incomplete for Gore.
Boy, and he had him wide open.
There's a flag down back in the secondary. Gore's pass receiving numbers are down. Only 16 catches coming into the game.
This one's going to go on Josh Gordy, I believe, up at the top.
Illegal use of hands to the face. Number 38 defense. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
4th penalty accepted against the Rams already. That's been a problem for them this year. That goes along with 13 players on injured reserve.
No, certainly some of their wounds have been self-inflicted when you talk about the penalties.
And they do have both Gore and Hunter in the backfield.
Oh, little option.
Alex Smith is going to keep near midfield. He's on his way. He needed 14 rushing yards to break his career high for rushing yards in an NFL season.
Little triple option action stuff he ran at Utah in college. He's going to fake the dive right there to Kendall Hunter. Now he's the second option, and then the pitch to Frank Gore is the third option. Alex decides to keep it himself. Be careful how many of those you run with that quarterback, though, because I've already seen a few times this year where Alex, instead of sliding, will put his head down and try to get up a few extra yards.
And Frank Gore is going to lose yards. They bottle him up at the 45. Craig Dahl and Gary Gibson. Dahl's been all over the place in the run game.
Terrific play by Craig Dahl. And one thing about Dahl at safety, and he is getting the start today for Darian Stewart, is he is super smart, and he's going to be able to diagnose this play, read it, and then he is just going to shoot the gap and get Frank Gore just as he takes the handoff. I mean, he reads that pulling guard, that fold block, down block by the tight end, and then the guard blocks out, and he just shoots his gun for a tackle for loss.
The Rams bring in 6 defensive backs on 3rd and 5. That's complete. Crabtree, first down, 49ers. A 15-yard gain.
Alex's fundamentals are so much better. Just hits him in stride. Vernon's going to take off. He's going to end up holding this hook defender. You see that? You see the 2 defenders go inside with Vernon Davis. He's such a threat. And then Alex, with much better mechanics and footwork and timing in the passing game, hits Michael Crabtree right on stride in the open window.
He told me that was the biggest difference, and it leads to better decisions this year. Alex Smith keeps, throws for Vernon Davis. No! He couldn't hold on!
Well, anytime Vernon Davis gets flexed away from the line of scrimmage, he's going to be a major problem. He runs by both safeties. This ball hits him right in the hands, and he drops it. I mean, he just blew by both safeties. All the work was done. He runs by Quentin Michael. He runs by Craig Dahl. Alex drops a dime right on the money, and Vernon doesn't hold on.
Kendall Hunter has it, and maybe another 49er first down. '49ers seem to be throwing the ball a little more than we thought they would.
Well, I think you look at the Rams, who are down a safety with Darian Stewart down, who's a very good player. Craig Dahl's out there for them, and then they're playing with backups to the backups out at corner. So a good game to get their passing game into in terms of the matchup.
So it was a 10-yard pickup. Alex Smith is 10 out of 13 so far for 97 yards.
Leave it on, leave it on. 19. Let it roll, let it roll. 980.
Frank Gore has room. Inside the 10. The 49ers all-time leading rusher with some nifty moves.
And when he gets blocking like that up front, I want you to watch Jonathan Goodwin, the center, and the right guard, Adam Snyder. They're going to combo off on the defensive tackle, the linebacker. See, they take Freddie Robbins, and then they get on James Laurinaitis. They get a huge crease. Crabtree with a nice block on the safety. You cannot block it any better for Frank Gore.
It is 1st and goal 49ers. They have a 6-0 lead after Frank Gore's 20-yard run. Third trip to the red zone, no touchdowns. This is where a guy like Braylon Edwards, who's inactive, could help.
That's right, and the problem is because of his knee and really all season long, he's got no touchdowns, so he's not been the impact player they thought he would be down here in the red zone.
Alex Smith in the arms of Chris Long goes down.
And there's number 11 on the season for Chris Long, a career high. He's playing really on one leg with an ankle. Gets good pressure up inside. Want you to watch the defensive tackle here. Get the initial pressure. Chris is going to take the outside and then just keep his eyes open and make this play with his eyes. See, Freddie Robbins, good pressure inside, forces Alex to step to the side, and Chris Long was right there waiting for him.
And the 49ers have called timeout. Make that the Rams. I'm sorry, the Rams called timeout. Came from that side of the field. So the 49ers have 3 timeouts remaining. The Rams will have 2. You know, Chris Long with his dad Howie, and you have Clay Matthews, and they're the only two father-son combos to have double-digit sacks.
Well, and you think about how all four of them played with tremendous effort and tremendous motors with their foot on the gas pedal for 4 quarters. Chris Long didn't even practice this week other than taking mental reps on the side, and he's typically one of those guys, Chris, that needs the practice reps to be on his game. Not today. He has found his groove this season.
Frank Gore can't find his against that Ram defense. It's another timeout by the Rams called for here. Frank Gore so far in the game, 12 carries, 44 yards.
Now, this was his first run. He started with an 8-yard run to start the game. And then has been a little bit bottled up. That was a good tackle there by Craig Dahl, but he passed Joe Perry, the great Joe Perry. Frank Gore, 7 years in, the all-time leading rusher for the San Francisco 49ers.
Joe the Jet Perry, who passed away last April, did have a chance to meet Frank Gore a couple of years ago and was impressed with his toughness.
When you see the decals on the back of their helmet.
Representing 34 for Joe Perry. And John Henry Johnson, number 35.
2 of the 3 in the $1 million backfield back in the day.
Of course, Joe Perry stated the All-American Football Conference. I had some yards back there that they should count too, but he's a Hall of Famer. And Frank Gore is hoping to carry the 49ers to a division title on 3rd and goal.
Keep your eye on Vernon Davis.
The pass is incomplete. Pressure from Chris Long, and he threw it low to Delaney Walker. So it's 4th down. Chris Long fired up, and the 49ers have to settle for a 3-point try.
You know, say what you want about Steve Spagnuolo's St. Louis Rams, and they've been terrific in the red zone today. They were very good last week against Arizona, 1 for 4 in terms they were successful 3 out of 4 times. But this team plays with great effort. Even at 2-9, the effort has been outstanding.
A 28-yard try in the shadows, and Akers is money. He's 3 for 3, and the 49ers have a 9-0 lead over the Rams.
Hello, folks. Terry Bradshaw here, the Visa Halftime Report. Exciting week 13 of the National Football League. Tim Tebow Show continues on another comeback victory. Denver beats the Minnesota Vikings. T.J. Yates, the rookie quarterback, in his Texan debut. They win. That's all coming up on the Visa Halftime Report.
I know, Kurt, we're wondering the same thing. We're looking very professorial as Terry Bradshaw. Meanwhile, Crabtree and Alex Smith trying to figure out how to get in the end zone against this Ram defense.
I'll give the Rams credit because their coverage on that last incompletion to Delaney Walker was really good in terms of the spacing.
Quinn Porter will down it once again. 1 timeout remaining for the Rams.
And St. Louis, each and every week, you can say what you want, and the media has talked about this team, has packed it in at times. Absolutely not the case. And just an example of the heart and the effort that the Rams have shown all season long. And Steven Jackson has really led that emotional effort offensively. And then I think Chris Long defensively by example with his play along with James Laurinaitis.
And Steve Spagnuolo understands all the whispers about maybe a change in St. Louis. Part of the business, but he says that's up to the man upstairs. Way upstairs. Feely's throw, complete across the 30-yard line. Brandon Gibson with his first catch of the day. You know, Steven Jackson, you talk about him, he's become, as the Rams go to a hurry up to the line after a gain of 13, a symbol of strength for the city of St. Louis since he has joined the Rams. Passes dropped by Gibson. That'll stop the clock. And we mentioned that Steven Jackson was the last running back, as Brandon Lloyd has no catches so far today. Steven Jackson, the last running back to score a touchdown on the ground against the 49er defense last year, the day after Christmas.
And A.J. Feely, as you see there, has not even targeted Brandon Lloyd, who averages 12 targets a game. And a big part of it is because they're playing a safety over the top on Brandon Lloyd.
Feely goes in that area, and it's incomplete for Lloyd.
And here's an example of it. You've got the corner out here on Lloyd, and then you're going to see in this part of your screen 38 Deshaun Goldson come in there and try to rob the end cut. So you had Culliver playing him to the outside. You have Deshaun Goldson, the safety, playing him to the inside. And that's really been the plan all day against the number one receiver, Brandon Lloyd. My definition, Chris, of a number one receiver is a guy that commands double coverage. He's gotten the double coverage today.
Feely goes down. Larry Grant in for Willis with the sack.
Boy, and A.J. Feely had no time. Here's Larry Grant right here. Feely's going to end up running out to his right, and Grant just turns on the heat and runs him down. You see that? It was Aldon Smith that forced A.J. Feely to step up and then try to escape out the side door. And Larry Grant said, no chance. I'm faster than you, and I'm going to run you down for the sack.
A free agent and showing the Rams that maybe they should have hung on to him when they had him. The 49ers take a timeout after their second sack of this game. So they'll have 2 remaining and ready to get the football. It's been only field goals so far. The Ram defense has hung tough. The offense, not much. There's Ted Ginn. Kick goes out of bounds up across the 40. Hey, this February, NASCAR's best will converge at Daytona International Speedway. It's the great American race. You'll see Tony Stewart, the champ, Danica Patrick, and a full field of drivers. And Fox Sports proud to bring you exclusive coverage February 26th, the Daytona 500 on Fox. And you know, Jim Harbaugh is part of a car racing team in the IRL. It wears the head of number 4, the number he wore as a player. He's actually a co-owner. And J.R. Hildebrand from Sausalito, the driver who grew up a 49er fan.
I just see Jim, if he was one of those guys and on the track, he'd be wrecking people all over the place. Gotta love his attitude.
Alex Smith incomplete for Kendall Hunter. James Hall almost brought him down.
I like the fact they're not playing it safe. You know, they have one big missed opportunity, the Vernon Davis drop, where he was wide open in the end zone behind both safeties, and they're just not choosing to run the football and go in up 9-0.
And remember Alex Smith, that was one of the things Jim Harbaugh said when he came in. I want to decide whether you're going to be the guy with the hat backwards holding the clipboard or a guy who wants to be in the fire. And he saw the toughness right away from Alex.
He's also a little wacky in the way he wears that mouthpiece on that bottom teeth. Have you ever seen that?
I have not. And that's complete to Vernon Davis. The ball comes out, and the 49ers have it. Picking up the football and moving forward with it was Ted Ginn. And Vernon Davis seems like he's in pain.
Well, here's the out route by Vernon Davis. Now watch as Quentin Michael comes, number 27. That ball is carried loose. I guess it was Laurinaitis that knocked it out. Oh, no, it was Craig Dahl that knocked it out. Right here, 43. Look at how loose the ball is carried away from the body on Vernon Davis. So he strips it out. It looked like he hit him right there in the groin. Now Quentin Michael tries to pick it up. He misses. Ted Ginn gets the recovery and gets a few extra yards. That was just lucky.
49ers will have one timeout after burning another one, trying to maybe get some more points before the half with a 9-0 lead.
Think about this, and inside of 2 minutes, only the fumbling player can recover and advance the fumble. So this one's going to go back. To where it was touched by the offensive player.
So Vernon Davis with his 4th catch of the game loses the football. But the 49ers retained from the 44. It'll be 1st and 10. 38 seconds left and 1 timeout. David Akers has hit from 55 this year.
Look at that mouthpiece on the bottom tee.
Might be a delay of game.
5-yard penalty, still first down.
And it was. They didn't get the snap off in time.
Well, and that's the risk you run with your quarterback really doing everything at the line of scrimmage in terms of the adjustments. Jim Harbaugh is not happy about it, the head coach.
And for a team with extra rest that's ready to, well, with a win, can wrap up its first division title since 2002, the 49ers do not look real crisp.
No, their offense is out of sync. Their defense is dominant, no question. Their offense, the execution just has not been consistent, and then the big drop by Vernon Davis is obviously the big mix-up.
Alex Smith, and he had him open down the sideline. Ted Ginn.
He had him wide open.
There's a flag down in the backfield.
Holding, number 77. 10-yard penalty, still first down.
That's on Mike Iupati, the left guard.
Well, and Vernon Davis, when he goes vertical from the tight end position, he is going to hold. Vernon's here. He's going to go this way. The safeties are so worried about Vernon Davis that Ted Ginn is able to run right by the corner in Rod Hood. You see Quentin Michael overplaying Vernon Davis right there? And Ted Ginn runs right by the corner, Rod Hood, and Alex overthrows him.
I'm sure that's something the 49ers will come back to in the second half, Tim. Meanwhile, they're backed up to 1st and 25. And Alex Smith open across the middle, completes. Ginn gets inside the 44 of St. Louis.
And remember, Akers was just bombing 60-yarders in the pregame.
And the 49ers use their last timeout.
There's Akers there. His long this year is 55, but he was cranking them from 60 yards without a problem in pregame warm-up.
His career long is 57 yards. This year he's 6 out of 6 from beyond 50. It'll be 2nd and 11, but the clock is what the Niners have to be aware of in terms of getting Akers in range.
And especially here, look. No timeouts left.
And 124 yards passing in the first half for Alex Smith.
And imagine if Vernon Davis hooks up on that big touchdown. Alex's number line looks outstanding.
Giants are leading the Packers. Terry Bradshaw will have all the highlights at the half. The Cowboys have gone in front of Arizona. Wonder if he's going to let Kurt analyze things, and Terry will do the highlights. That'll be a nice little role reversal. I can't wait to talk about him more in the second half. The intensity of Jim Harbaugh. Steve Spagnuolo called him the first family of football now. John Harbaugh in Baltimore has known the family a long time.
Showing pressure here. Here it comes.
And they are coming. It's picked up for a moment. Smith goes deep for Ginn. And he was well covered. There's a flag down.
Holding, number 77. 10-yard penalty, second down.
It's on Mike Iupati once again.
And watch these exotic pressures, which really forces the Iupati hold. I mean, they're going to overload it. They're going to send everybody. You end up with a guy who really is playing defensive tackle in their sub package. James Hall ends up going out to cover the slot receiver. So Justin King was the one that got held. I mean, they send all the defensive backs, a couple of safeties in the corner, the slot corner, and then they drop the defensive lineman, James Hall, to take the responsibility of the slot corner and coverage.
They're making Pete Borelli earn his money here. 20 seconds to go. Davis out of bounds. That'll bring up third down. Now, it was you who told me that Joe Staley and Anthony Davis, the tackles on this 49er team, have not been called for a hold all year long.
No, they haven't. And Coach Solari, the offensive line coach, is just a technician in how he coaches technique. And both of those tackles have had good seasons, especially Joe Staley. You know, that last pressure that I drew up with James Hall dropping into coverage is really all those exotic looks that Steve Spagnuolo brings to the table. Talking to Jim Harbaugh the other day, he said watching Spagnuolo on tape and his defenses, he goes, he's the pioneer of all of these crazy zone pressures.
Hoping to get 12 or 15, but instead Chris Long gets another sack. His 12th of the year. Robert Quinn was involved as well. 6 straight games with a quarterback sack for Chris Long. So at the half, the 49ers lead the Rams 9-0, trying to clinch the NFC West. Let's check in with Kurt Menefee and Terry Bradshaw for the Visa Halftime Report. Getting ready for the start of the second half, the 49ers inching just a little bit closer to their 10th win. And when that happens today, they'll clinch the NFC West first time since 2002. And the San Francisco defense, a team record now, 6 straight games, not allowing a touchdown in the first half. That's the good news with Tim Ryan, Chris Myers. The bad news is just field goals. They missed some opportunities on offense.
Well, they really have. Let's give the Rams a little bit of credit on defense for sure. But the 49ers have really missed big opportunities. And here's man coverage, good throw from Alex Smith. Michael Crabtree catches that. He maybe jukes one guy. He's in the end zone. Then after a turnover, they get the ball down right on the goal line. They're unable to punch it in. Here on another third down, give a lot of credit to the Rams for terrific defense. And then this is the big one that we all remember. Vernon Davis wide open behind both safeties. Alex throws a perfect football, and Vernon Davis unable to hold on.
You can follow your favorite team all season long. Go to iTunes.com/NFL. And 3 sacks by the Ram defense. Now for the 49ers, you go back to that Baltimore game. They've given up 12 sacks in the last 2 games.
Well, and you think of the Dallas loss early in the season where they gave up 6 sacks. So certainly pass protection has been a problem. Today there's only been the 1 busted protection from a mental standpoint. That was the Laurinaitis sack. The other couple, it was just physical stuff. Freddie Robbins with some good penetration up inside, and then Chris Long, who's having a monster year, collects 2 sacks in the first half.
Frank Gore becoming the all-time career rushing leader for the 49ers in the first half, and David Akers a career high of 31 field goals made. And he's been the only guy doing the scoring, thus the 9-0 49er advantage. Second half underway. Remember, the Rams deferred to open the game. And they miss a chance. He's going to run it out. Porter sees an opening, but is still stopped short of the 20-yard line. Let's check in down on the field with Jamie Maggio. Hey, Jamie.
Hey, Chris. How's it going? You know, I asked Coach. Yeah, good. I'm glad. I asked Coach Harbaugh. You know, I said, look, I'm sure you want to be putting up touchdowns instead of field goals. He said, you know what, we need to just play smart, and that will come. As for Steve Spagnuolo, he said we need to make some big plays if we want to get back in this game. He's actually pleased with the effort from A.J. Feely. So here they are. We'll see if they can do it here. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Jamie. On first down, Rams haven't been able to get it going offensively at all. Feely. That's Steven Jackson.
And they have done really next to nothing. They've only had 19 plays. That was their 20th play, which means time of possession is not going to be good. 0 for 5 on third down in the first half. So you look at the time of possession there versus the 49ers, who more than doubled them up, and more than doubled them up in exactly play total as well, with 38 plays in the first half for the 49ers offensively.
Patrick Willis went out with a hamstring, will not return. Larry Grant has been in for him. Jackson carries, and the Niners are right there. Deshaun Goldson up from his safety spot.
Well, this defense is dominant, Chris, and again, talking about the number of yards, 63 in the first half without their best player, Patrick Willis, dominating third down. And in all those areas, they've just been consistent and outstanding all season long. And that was a problem in the Baltimore game. You go back to that Baltimore game, and they only gave up 16 points. But the third downs on that scoring drive for the Ravens, they were 4 for 4. That was really the only slip up by them defensively, along with the lack of pressure.
Feely. Oh, did Brandon Lloyd make that catch? There's a flag down, and he held onto the football. His first few years,
they're going to call him with offensive pass interference.
He was a 49er. Brandon Lloyd said it's just another game coming back here.
Pass interference, number 25 defense. Penalty is declined. Result of the play is first down.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you looked at the field judge, he initially signaled it going towards the offense. And here's the matchup right here. And this is just a circus catch by Brandon Lloyd, who's done it all year long. He is an acrobat in the air. Terrell Brown never finds the football. There comes the flag. Terrell Brown never turns and looks. And he tries to vice and break those arms down, and Brandon Lloyd hangs on. And the field judge initially ruled that offensive pass interference until they huddled.
Feely to throw on first down for Pettis, and it's intercepted. Deshaun Goldson has it. His 4th interception of the season. And it was Paris Harrelson who put the pressure on Feely, and there's a flag down. So after a 34-yard completion to Brandon Lloyd, Feely comes back and Goldson intercepts.
Well, this ball is thrown way too late because Deshaun Goldson's eyes were all over the quarterback, Jay Feely. He was just playing center field. And Feely does get blasted by Paris Harrelson, but that ball came out way too late. That was the wrong guy to throw to vertically with the safety reading the eyes playing over the top.
The flag came out after the interception and return.
There's Paris there, and then there's Paris Harrelson there. Pettis is running the route.
There are 2 fouls on the intercepting team. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness. The penalty will be declined. Unsportsmanlike conduct, number 38, excessive demonstration. Have to just to the goal, first down.
He did not give the number on the other penalty, but the Rams will accept the penalty on Deshaun Goldson. Goldson was one of those guys that Vic Fangio, defensive coordinator, talked about in the secondary. The 49ers, they each came in with an edge and attitude, thought he'd get a big payday, had to settle for a contract returning to San Francisco, and comes up with the football.
What they say?
Well, here's the excessive celebration, and it's not on Goldson, it's on the third guy. Carlos Rogers comes in, he's the third wheel. You cannot celebrate with more than 2, or it's a penalty.
Save that for the X factor. 12-yard penalty, so it puts him back at the 12-yard line. First down, 49ers. Frank Gore patiently waiting. Second takeaway in the game. Remember, the Niners came in number 1 in that department. They have a fumble recovery and the interception. 28 takeaways for the year.
And you're absolutely right about Deshaun Goldson, a guy who thought he was going to get a big payday. And I think because of the lockout and because of the shortened free agency period, he simply did not and came back to the 49ers. And he has had a monster year. He's super aggressive. He really baited A.J. Feely into throwing that ball. A.J. never saw him. That was an easy interception.
That's Ted Ginn with the football. First down, 49ers.
That is pure heat right there from Ted Ginn. And he's just coming in motion. And here he is coming in motion, and they're going to fake the run action up inside. Alex just turns and hands it to him, and then does the fake to Frank Gore. He gets a nice block by Bruce Miller out front. You give Ted Ginn the edge, he's going to pick up significant yards.
A 16-yard run. So from just inside the 34, first and 10, 49ers.
Let it roll, let it roll.
The pitch. That's Delaney Walker. The other way. With a healthy chunk of yardage for the 49ers.
Remember, I was talking earlier about how so many teams around the league over the last few years just spread you out with all the wide receivers. You got 3 tight ends on the field. Justin Peele being the third one. Alex is just going to turn and pitch it coming back the other way. And then it's all up to Delaney Walker, who does a little stutter step inside and then runs around. Look at a stutter step right there and runs around Quentin Michael.
Walker does not have a catch in the game, but a 16-yard run with Ginn, a 14-yard run with Walker, and a fresh set of downs. Alex Smith to throw. Deep. That's Crabtree. Touchdown, 49ers. 52 yards. They did not miss that opportunity.
Absolutely not. Another perfectly deep throw from Alex Smith. And they send the two verticals, and Ted Ginn on the other side held the safety in the middle of the field, and Crabtree ran right by Justin King to the inside.
The largest pass play of the season for the 49ers, and it produces the first touchdown of this game. 14th touchdown pass of the year for Alex Smith.
Here's the touchdown, and I was talking about Ted Ginn and his threat vertically. He ends up running the over route. The deep middle safety, Craig Dahl, jumps it, and then you're going to see Crabtree come from that side of the screen. Justin King was expecting help deep down the middle, never got it. Perfect throw from Alex Smith.
And Nick Miller, the new kickoff return man for the Rams. He's been handling punts so far, and he gets out across the 24-yard line. Well, the Rams will take over on offense. The 49ers strike gold. They lead it easily, 16-0. We welcome you back to Candlestick Park in San Francisco. The 49ers with a 16-0 third quarter lead. Tim Ryan, Chris Myers, Jamie Macchio on the field, and glad you're watching the NFL on Fox. 1st and 10 Rams. Steven Jackson. He tries to get outside. Terrell Brown makes the tackle. Get coverage of every NFL game with NFL Mobile. Call ** NFL Now. Only 7 carries for Steven Jackson so far.
And the 49ers defense, they just do not and have not given up big pop runs. And you think about the explosive plays, and we always gauge those by runs or passes of 20+. This defense, through now almost 12 games, have only given up 2 runs all season of 20+ yards.
Jackson carries again and goes down. In fact, the last time the 49ers allowed a 100-yard rusher, it was 33 games ago when Ryan Grant of the Packers did that. But a mark of a good team, the first guy to the scene makes the stop.
Well, the game will always be about blocking and tackling. And the 49ers, it's hard to get them blocked. And then when you do, their guys just don't miss tackles. I mean, look at that. 26 missed tackles coming into this season. That is a remarkable number. That's the best in football by a pretty big margin.
Incomplete.
That had no chance.
Carlos Rogers, who leads the team with 5 interceptions on the spot, so he'll punt. And Vic Fangio, the defensive coordinator who came over from Stanford with Jim Harbaugh, you know, for him, you talk about a game of inches, but it's a game of yards, yard by yard on defense.
Well, most coordinators, what they do is they chart situations. For example, 1 to 3 yards, 4 to 6 yards, 6 yards plus. He is charting 1 yard. He's charting 2 yards, 3. I mean, he is absolutely magnifies the situations down to the yard. It's all about the details with him.
Fangio, the man on the glass booth, the defensive coordinator, as Ted Ginn takes the ball out of bounds, and the 49ers come back on offense. A 44-yard punt with a 4-yard return. And when you're a gunner on special teams, this is what you have to put up with. Patrick Willis injured in the first half with a hamstring, replaced by Larry Grant, and smiling because getting his first taste of winning as an NFL player.
I promise you, it's killing him not to be on the field with his teammates. He has waited for this opportunity for 5 years.
Alex Smith rolling to throw and open. A low pass, but hauled in by Ted Ginn. He can fly out. He's got blockers out. Gore with a nice block on Josh Gordy. Here comes Flags as he goes out of bounds at the 30.
And I think Kyle Williams is going to end up getting an illegal body rock and block. That looked like a punt return.
33-yard gain pending the flag.
And Ted Ginn's speed, he just had the corner spun in circles on the initial route.
Illegal block in the back, number 10, offense. 10-yard penalty, first down.
It was on Kyle Williams.
And you can see it here. Here's number 10, and watch him. He's going to hunt down Robert Quinn right here, the defensive end. Oh, yeah, that's an easy call.
So it'll back him up to the 47-yard line, but it is 1st and 10, 49ers. Frank Gore in the game, 14 carries, 52 yards so far. He's in the backfield.
It's about time for him to pop a long one if you know Frank's style.
Gore working behind the line. Laurinaitis makes the tackle.
And if you just joined us, here's what happened to Patrick Willis as he got hurt early in the game, making a tackle there on Bruce Miller, the fullback, and falls off, misses the tackle, and immediately reaches for that right hamstring. And you could just tell, Chris, by how gingerly he was moving and really the look on his face that he was not going to be coming back into this game.
So you hope he's ready to go the next time the 49ers hit the field in Arizona. And certainly for the postseason, that's where they're headed.
Let it roll, let it roll.
Kyle Williams on the carry. Look at Kyle go. A 22-yard run.
And watch both guards get the block. Snyder gets the seal, then Iupati comes right behind him, the left guard. Watch, here's Snyder's block. Bang, he gets the seal. Now here's the kick out. And then it's all about Kyle Williams turning on the juice and getting a big chunk run. 49ers run game is, I mean, the versatility of their run game this year versus last year, it's ridiculously different and has really kept defenses off balance. They're handling it to wide receivers, tight ends. I mean, it doesn't matter. Everybody's getting the ball with this 49er offense.
And they go to Frank Gore. You expect him to get it. Look at him weaving his way out of the 10-yard line. It's enough to give a defensive coordinator headaches.
And the personnel groupings just kill you. I mean, they bring in extra offensive linemen. Here they got 2 extra guys in. You got Alex Boone, he's going to play there, and then you got Shiloh Ray-Shaw, who's playing the H-back. I mean, you got 7 offensive linemen on the field together.
Frank Gore the carry. Maybe a yard.
And this is the area of the field down here in the red zone where they have not done well today, the San Francisco 49ers.
Well, and that's, if people are going to, it's like, you know, pointing out a flaw on the Mona Lisa when you're ready to win your 10th game and wrap up the division. But if you're looking bigger picture, can they score enough when they get into the playoffs?
Absolutely. I mean, you start thinking about the Green Bay Packers and these teams that, you know, the New Orleans Saints who are red hot that are scoring a lot of points.
The Wildcat to Kendall Hunter here as he takes the snap and is shoved backwards by the Rams.
Yeah, you've got to execute down in the red zone. You've got to score points to stay up with those guys for sure. But this is another example of what the 49ers do from personnel groupings, Chris, to keep you off balance. And here the Wildcat, we've seen this a couple times on tape. Alex Smith goes out. Kendall Hunter comes in and plays the Wildcat quarterback.
So they line up for a field goal. David Akers, 3 for 3 today. His 31 field goals made a new 49er record for field goals in a season from 34 yards out. Andy Lee, the holder. Snap kick. And he's 4 out of 4. Fox Sports proud to support the Armed Forces Foundation, which offers vital assistance to service members and their families, financial, recreational, and emotional support for our military. Please support America's heroes by serving those who serve. For more information, we hope you visit armedforcesfoundation.org. They're having a good time at Candlestick. The home team up 19-0 here in the third. And Nick Miller will take it out to the 20-yard line on the touchback. Last time the 49ers had a shutout was 2009 against the Rams.
Well, unless A.J. Feely can get it going or Steven Jackson can have a couple of big runs, they're headed in that direction. This defense has dominated really in every phase today. There's been one real good play by the St. Louis Rams, and that was the circus catch by Brandon Lloyd. Other than that, these 49ers defensively have slammed the door. The Rams have yet to convert on a third down.
Feely to throw. High and incomplete for Brandon Gibson. Steven Jackson, 8 carries for just 10 yards.
Well, the 49ers have done it all year in terms of hammering the run. And they just don't leave any running lanes for those guys up front. And I know the Rams were coming in and their plan was to widen the splits by the offensive line and try to get that 49er defense to widen out their alignments to create some running lanes. Not happening.
Feely's throw hauled in by Gibson. It goes out of bounds, short of the first down.
And then you look at their best receiver, Brandon Lloyd. He's got 1 catch for 34 yards, the circus catch that I talked about. Here they're just playing inside leverage, pushing him to the sideline. Look at right here. They've got 2 guys covering Brandon Lloyd. Here you're going to see really 3 guys, 2 guys underneath with the linebacker, the corner, and the safety behind them. And then here they've got safety help to the inside. They've got sideline help to the outside. They have given Brandon Lloyd all he can handle today in terms of the double and even sometimes triple coverage.
And Carlos Rogers, a teammate of his back in Washington, said he's the kind of receiver that becomes disinterested if you don't get him involved in the offense. We have an injured player on the field, Terrell Brown of the 49ers, and they are checking on him as the Rams face a 3rd and 4. And Tim, as you just pointed out, so far 0 for 6 on 3rd down. That 49er defense has been tough. But a couple of injuries. Patrick Willis already with a hamstring and now tending to Terrell Brown. This February, NASCAR's best will gather at Daytona International Speedway. You'll see Tony Stewart, the champion. What a great finish with Carl Edwards and rookie Danica Patrick in the Daytona 500. It's the ultimate racing experience. Fox Sports is proud to bring you exclusive coverage of the Great American Race. It's the 54th running of the Daytona 500. 2 weeks after the Super Bowl. It's February, make that 3 weeks, February the 26th.
I let you feel a little horsepower yesterday, didn't I?
Yeah, it was fun driving around in your vet in the streets of San Francisco.
You're such a motorhead.
Feely goes down.
Oh my goodness.
That was Aldon Smith, the rookie, with his 8.5 sack of the year.
Look at the power. Here he comes. Now this is what you call a bull rush. You will not see it any better than this. Lower body explosion by Aldon Smith. Wow. Wow.
He's got great reach.
He's got great power in his lower body. He's 21 years old. He's the youngest player on the team, and he just took Adam Goldberg and manhandled him. That was ridiculous.
Smith from Missouri, where he broke Justin Smith's sack record at Missouri. That's Ted Ginn. Who goes up the sideline and runs a lot to gain a little. Let's check in for a game break, and once again, Terry Bradshaw.
All right, Chris Myers, big day for Aaron Rodgers. 3 touchdowns on the day. His 9th 3-touchdown pass day. This one covering 20 yards to Greg Jennings, 28-17. Packers on top of the New York Giants. Back to Chris Myers, my good buddy Tim Ryan.
You're good, buddy.
Yeah.
All right. Since Terry's talking Packers, let me throw it out early. There's a lot that could happen, but you mentioned it. The 49ers, the Packers, if people are looking at right now the number 1 and 2 seeds in the NFC, how do they match up?
Well, I think if you look at the Green Bay Packers and look at their passing game, the 49ers pass defense, it will be a challenge. Green Bay, I don't even know if they try to run the football, with any large commitment against the 49ers front 7. I would anticipate if these two do match up, and Aaron Rodgers, look, he can throw in the cold. He's already proven that. I would anticipate at least 40-plus throws in that game from the Green Bay Packers. And then the 49ers would score points on their defense. The Packers have not had a great year defensively. They've had some injuries, and the 49ers have enough versatility, certainly in their run game and with their tight ends on those linebackers, that they would score points against the Packer defense. It'd be a great, great matchup if it can happen.
It will give people a lot to talk about as we count down to the playoffs. But first things first, and that's the 49ers trying to clinch the division today. As Gore carries for the 2nd straight time. Let's check it out on the field with Jamie Maggio.
Some updates, Chris, from the Rams sideline. Number 92, Eugene Sims. They taped up his right ankle. They're calling his return questionable. And then number 21, Justin King. He's got a heat pack on his hip. He's stretching him out. They're saying right hip return is questionable.
Thanks, Jamie. And we'll check also on Terrell Brown, because that's, we talk about the 49ers, a couple of starters on defense getting beat up in this game. And now facing 3rd and 4.
Kill! Ready!
Pressure from Quentin Michael is picked up. Pass is complete. That's Ginn. First down at midfield.
And this is just a classic route combination by the 49ers. You're going to have Crabtree. He's going to run it out. Man coverage. Dahl's going to go with him. And then right in the window behind him, you're going to see Ted Ginn with the end cut. And Alex has the time to throw, so everything happens on time. And that's just perfect execution. And that's really a good example of where Alex Smith has improved in terms of his footwork and his fundamentals.
Ted Ginn ripped off and is over on the sideline. Smith. Vernon Davis incomplete. Alex has thrown for 218 yards. You know, he scored high on the Wonderlic test. He graduated in 3 years. That's one of the things Jim Harbaugh said, what a smart quarterback he was. And his career so far in San Francisco, Tim, you know, #1 overall pick. It's been like a mini-series on the Lifetime channel. Out, down, injuries, coordinating, coaching changes.
Well, and yeah, I mean, he's had significant injuries, and so he's got physical scar tissue. I also think a lot of mental scar tissue with the way he was handled early by Mike Nolan and being challenged, and you know, in terms of his toughness, and then all of the coordinators and different schemes he's had to learn.
Frank Gore carries. And having a coach like Jim Harbaugh who played the position.
No, it's perfect. And you know, Jim's got street cred, if you will. Jim Harbaugh played 14 years in the National Football League. And Jim Harbaugh always gets him fired up. You know, catching, throwing, doing everything out at practice. He'll set Alex's pads. He'll hit him on the shoulder pads a couple of times. There he's out catching routes. You know, and they're really the same type of guys. Jim, I played 3 years with Jim. You talk about physical toughness and even more so mental toughness. A lot of similarities between the head coach and his quarterback.
On 3rd and 9. Smith trying to be tough, but the whistle blows and he's called down in the arms of James Hall for the sack. So the 49ers will punt for the Rams, their 4th sack today.
Yeah, and Mike Iupati's got to do a better job. James Hall was rushing defensive tackle, and he just hit the edge of Mike Iupati on a stunt, and Iupati didn't get enough on him, and it was really ended up being an easy rush for James Hall.
Andy Lee. Nick Miller, fair catch. Rams will take over on offense, but let's get another game break. And Terry Bradshaw. Terry,
all right, Chris Myers, this Arizona Cardinals trying to tie it up against the Dallas Cowboys. Beanie Wells coming off that huge 228 last year rushing. Well, this week he gets a 4-yarder right there, 13-13, Cardinals and the Dallas Cowboys. Back to Chris, and once again, my good buddy Tim Ryan.
Right, TV.
And that was against this Ram team that Beanie Wells had those yards last week that he was talking about, that Terry was mentioning. Terrell Brown is back out on the field for the 49ers at one of the corner spots.
Let's see if they try to target him right here with Brandon Lloyd. He's got help over the top with the safety.
Steven Jackson. Across the 26-yard line. Fans were getting noisy. They could feel it. Second down, 1. Steven Jackson hit hard.
Wow.
Grant with the helmet coming off delivered the hit. And that's going to end the third quarter.
Listen to this. Ray McDonald's going to go inside. Grant's going to come to the outside and a blow-up shot. Wow. That's a head knocker.
15 minutes away. That's how far the 49ers have until they wrap up the NFC West. Along with Tim Ryan, Chris Myers here at San Francisco, and the 49ers. Amazing that in their 12th game, if they hold on here against the rival Rams, they clinch the NFC West. They'll be the first team to clinch a division title this year. And Jim Harbaugh in his first year will do what Steve Mariucci and George Seifert did. 3rd and 1 for the Rams. Inside handoff to Brett Miller, and no.
Ray McDonald is a really good football player. We said it earlier, he does not get enough credit.
Well, we have an injured Ram rolling around on the 30-yard line, holding his knee.
That's Jacob Bell, the left guard.
Who's the only offensive lineman who is still starting today that started in the same position on opening day for the Rams on that line.
Now, they have had buzzards luck really all over the field, but offensive line and the cornerback position, Steve Spagnuolo's team have just been hammered with the injuries. Ray McDonald, watch the penetration by number 91. They're just going to try a simple dive to the fullback Miller, and watch Ray McDonald get penetration. I mean, he just splits both of those guys, which allows Navarro Bowman to come over the top. And it looked like Ray McDonald fell into Jacob Bell right there, and that's what caused the injury on the guard. But great penetration, and then the linebacker right behind him, Navarro Bowman, to clean it up.
Well, it's good that Bell was able to get up. McDonald's 290 pounds and 6'3".
One thing about this 49er defense, and we've seen several examples of it today, is they are just physical, Chris. They are going to hit you, and they are going to put the smash on you for 4 quarters, and they do it every single week.
So the Rams will punt. There's Ted Ginn, the 7th punt for Donnie Jones. And the 49ers will work on the clock as Isaac Sokuaga taking it all in. A lot of smiles on that 49ers sideline. So different than last year in December. So the 49ers take over on offense. Alex Smith and Michael Crabtree providing the only touchdown of the day. Here at Candlestick Park in San Francisco. Always nice seeing the Golden Gate Bridge and fans excited. It's going to be a happy holiday season in the Bay Area this time.
I'll tell you what's nice is coming into this stadium and feeling the energy of the fans with this winning football team.
Frank Gore's 21st carry of the game. And you know, I was talking to Jed York, president CEO of the 49ers. They're not raising ticket prices next year, so that's good news. But how about the news of the new stadium? They're going to begin construction in 2012 and on target for, they hope now, a 2015 to be playing in.
Yeah, and you know what? It's going to be down in the South Bay in Santa Clara, California, where a big contingent of their fan base really comes from and drives up from. So state-of-the-art facility, $1 billion facility. They've secured the funding for it. A lot of excitement around this 49er organization right now, and winning, Chris, a huge part of it.
And no doubt a Super Bowl will be in that stadium one day as Kendall Hunter carries for the 49ers. And a lot of great memories at this place. You know, we showed Joe Montana is here at the top of the broadcast, but even Steve Spagnuolo, as just a football fan, said, you know, I remember Candlestick and some of the great scenes and great players that have come through here over the years. But a new stadium, 49er fans deserve it.
Absolutely, and really when you think of having a Super Bowl at that venue and in the city, it just creates so much for the economy. And I mean, all the luxuries of a new stadium and the revenue streams of a new stadium, absolutely, it's time.
Here comes the flag.
Offense.
5-yard penalty, still third down.
We have a delay game, 6th. That's now the 7th penalty accepted.
And those things have to get cleaned up. Championship football teams cannot do those things and shoot themselves in the foot with Alex Smith directing all the traffic at the line of scrimmage.
Facing now a 3rd and 6.
Well, Jim Harbaugh was able to talk to the head linesman over there, to the line judge, and get him to overturn the call and got a timeout called before the delay of game.
Alex Smith completes to Kyle Williams. Kyle Williams! Touchdown 49ers! 56 yards.
That's number 3 on the year for Kyle Williams. And really, I mean, they're sending all the pressure, and then look at this cushion. With all the pressure, the blitz coming up inside, big cushion, not playing tight man coverage, playing off man coverage. Alex Smith does a great job of reading it. He delivers a strike, and then Kyle Williams does all the rest. Got a nice block from Ted Ginn as well as he was taken off to the end zone.
Yeah, and Rod Hood slow to get up and
good read
head to that sideline. 2 touchdown passes now.
That's a really good read by Alex Smith. Knowing the pressure was coming, they sent more than the 49ers could block. He made the perfect read and threw it to Kyle Williams with a good throw accurately.
The extra point from Akers. And the 49ers move a little bit closer with a 26-0 advantage in the 4th quarter. And Alex Smith to Kyle Williams, a catch and carry for San Francisco. Here in San Francisco, Alex Smith, you said more confident, and that's because his coach believes in him.
Well, it's obvious, and he's just had an outstanding day today, and the confidence is written all over his face. And, you know, give Jim Harbaugh some credit, too. It was a huge question mark coming into the season to keep Alex Smith around, and Jim said he wanted to know, does this guy want to hold a clipboard or does he want to compete? He found out right away Alex wanted to compete. He's made the best of it.
Nick Miller on the return. Smith with a couple of touchdown passes. A big day for him, but for Frank Gore, 73 yards rushing, and he surpasses Joe Perry, the Hall of Famer, as the 49ers all-time leading rusher. Perry was part of that $1 million backfield along with Hugh McElhaney, John Henry Johnson, Y.A. Tittle. Back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. He led the NFL in rushing in the 50s. Perry was a 3-time Pro Bowl selection and into the Hall of Fame in 1969. Had a chance to meet Frank Gore, as we said, proud of the effort that Gore has given through a lot of the losing years here in San Francisco.
His passion has been overwhelming, and the way that guy prepares and lives the game. Chris, there's a lot of guys that play the game and have good long careers as guys that play the game. Frank Gore is one of those guys, when you think of his heart and soul and his approach, he lives the game every day of his life, whether it be in season or out of season. Frank Gore is living pro football to be the best 49er he can be. It's really impressive.
Jarius Norwood the back. For the thud.
60, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
It's on Jason Brown. I want to go back to Frank Gore because he had those winning years at the University of Miami. And he came to San Francisco, and the story goes about being in a parking lot here in tears practically after working hard, playing hard, but the team losing consistently, and just wondering if he'd ever get a chance to play on a winning team in the NFL.
No, this day today has been well earned. And as I said in the open, nobody has earned it more than Frank Gore when you think of what he's done and what he's been through.
Pass complete to Pettis before he goes out of bounds.
I mean, think of the adversity that Frank has come through. With the passing of his mother and his knee injuries in college, injuries here in San Francisco. It seemed like every year there was an ankle injury that was happening for Frank Gore. Last year it was the hip injury. A lot of folks in the media said, well, he may be done. Does Trent Baalke give him the big contract financially? Trent Baalke did, and it was absolutely the right move. There's a lot of gas left in the tank for Frank Gore.
On third down here. uses the arm strength and delivers to Norwood for a catch out of bounds, and there's a flag down.
Lamont Brooks is going to get a hit on a defenseless player, helmet to helmet on the quarterback.
There are fouls on both teams. Holding, number 88, offense. Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 55, defense. Penalties will offset. 4th down.
So the holding call on Kendricks, that's a big break for the 49ers because it took away a nice gain for a 1st down.
Well, and here's the hold right there, because Aldon Smith with that patented bull rush is going to just drive Lance Kendricks. Man, he is physically dominant. That being Aldon Smith, and then there's the helmet-to-helmet hit from Lamont Brooks. I'm telling you, Aldon Smith has got a huge future ahead of him. The rookie outside linebacker pass rusher.
Again, completes. Denario Alexander for a Ram 1st down. Alexander back. There's another flag down. Back after 5 weeks of action out with a hamstring.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, late hit, number 54, defense. 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
That's how Larry Grant is playing out of his mind since coming in for Patrick Willis.
Yeah, they lose Patrick Willis early. Larry Grant's been all over the place. It looked like he almost just lost his balance as he was going out of bounds, because clearly Whitner, oh no, what happened? See, he was hitting Lance Kendricks. That's what it was. He was hitting Lance Kendricks on the sideline when the ball carrier was already out of bounds. I'm telling you, these guys are nasty in terms of their attitude and their physical ability to push you around.
Jarius Norwood carries. Justin Smith is right there. 49ers have not allowed a 100-yard rusher. We mentioned that, and the last one was Ryan Grant some 33 games ago. And they have not allowed a rushing touchdown since last year when Steven Jackson got through.
Have you ever seen anything like that? Justin Smith's shoulders are bigger than his shoulder pads.
Doesn't he wear shoulder pads?
Those are like Pop Warner shoulder pads. Look at them.
From his college
Those are like
days.
the extra smalls. And you know why pass rushers do that? It's less surface area for the offensive lineman to block.
I did not know that. Feely to throw. Incomplete. Brandon Gibson was out there. It'll be 3rd down.
What did Patrick Willis tell us on Friday when we were talking to him? Their goal each and every week is to slam the run and make teams one-dimensional. And I've been on teams that have been very, very good run defenses. And when you're able to stump the run and get some points offensively, and you make a team one-dimensional, and now it's all about rushing the passer.
21 rushing yards for the Rams today.
No, these guys are, and you will not get any of these starters off the field either. Time for these guys to pad those numbers sack-wise.
Feely with a tough throw. Gibson diving to the turf. And that's a nice grab for a 1st down at the 40. It's another position the Rams have had injuries. You mentioned the offensive line, 10 different cornerbacks as well. Danny Amendola, first game of the season, their slot receiver. Then Greg Salas, the rookie, who stepped up in that area. They missed Alexander for 5 weeks.
Absolutely.
The acquisition of Brandon Lloyd helped, but in this game, they've done a job with 1 catch for Brandon Lloyd. The 49ers defense has taken him out of it. Feely for Denario Alexander. No, incomplete.
Perfect coverage by Dante Whitner, but Denario Alexander almost made a circus catch to come back over the top. See, Whitner's in perfect position, playing inside leverage. He's got help to the outside. Denario Alexander turns his head to find the ball. Right there, Whitner does. That's just a great adjustment. And then Whitner never gives up on the ball, which really kind of prohibits the opportunity and ability of Denario Alexander to finish the process of the catch.
Norwood carries. You know, you mentioned it got flipped in the air. Terrell Brown Dante Whitner, Carlos Rogers making the play there back-to-back. Those, you talk about Trent Baalke through the draft and bringing in some guys in the secondary that have improved an area of the defense that needed it.
Well, listen to this. Carlos Rogers coming up on Norwood. And you mentioned Goldson earlier as a guy that plays with a chip on his shoulder. Here's a guy who is a top 10 pick for the Redskins who's here on a one-year deal and having the season of his life. Could say the same thing for Dante Whitner, who made the play right before. A top 10 pick where things did not really work out in his first stop. These guys are having terrific seasons.
The pitch to Pettis. He'll lose yardage. Navarro Bowman, the leading tackler of the 49ers. Fourth down.
7.5 minutes, 7 minutes 50 seconds to go in this game, and Steve Spagnuolo's offense, they have 144 yards. There's the offensive coordinator, Josh McDaniels. I mean, they do not have any answers for the 49er defense today. Better keep guys in to block him.
4th and 12. Feely is going down.
They tried with 2. 2 doesn't even work.
Aldon Smith with his second sack of the game. Is that a new? He doesn't want a penalty for celebrating. Now that's a mature young man right there. The rookie with his second sack of the game, Aldon Smith. And the offense takes over with the rookie coming in at quarterback, Colin Kaepernick. Draft pick out of Nevada with the handoff to Kendall Hunter, another rookie. Tim, let's take a look at the tackle and the behavior afterwards that left you chuckling.
Well, I told you they better get 2 to block him. They're going to try it with Thomas Welch, the right tackle, and Harvey Dahl, the right guard, and they still can't stop Aldon Smith. Again, there's the power rush, turning speed to power, and not only is he a physical beast, he's a student of the game. Look at him, head down, right to the sideline. Now I'm going to sit down. I'm a good student. I'm going to wait for my... Look at now Paris Harrelson's going, I see you.
That's 8.5 sacks for the rookie from Missouri. On second down, Kaepernick, who's played in a couple of games this year, incomplete for Justin Peele. It'll be third down, just on the book on Alex Smith, 17 out of 23, 274 yards. Smith had 2 touchdowns. Both went for more than 50 yards. Crabtree and Kyle Williams.
Well, he's had an outstanding day in reading pressures and reading the blitz and getting it to the right guy. And let's not forget, Alex in the first half dropped an absolute perfect pass deep down the middle to Vernon Davis that was dropped into the end zone. And he was getting hit. I mean, that's one thing about Alex Smith is he was taking some hits early in the game. The Rams had their pass rush tuned up pretty good, in particular Chris Long.
Kaepernick to throw. That's high and incomplete, intended for Delaney Walker.
And here's really Alex's day with some struggles early. There's the first sack by James Laurinaitis. There's Chris Long coming on a sack. Here's Robert Quinn and Chris Long getting another sack. And then Alex just kept going, kept his nose to the grindstone, eyes down the field, dropped a perfect throw there to Crabtree. And this one, reading the blitz and getting it out quick to Kyle Williams, who does the rest. Very, very good day for Alex. And you sense in talking to him, right? That guy feels like, you know, this is the opportunity he's been waiting for about 7 years.
Andy Lee's punt. That's Nick Miller back there. And you talk about a one-year contract. That's what Alex Smith is on. He did indicate we haven't started talking contract, but because of Jim Harbaugh, I want to be here in San Francisco for a long time.
And what did I tell him? The longer they wait, the more it's going to cost.
Tomorrow on Fox, country music's biggest event of the year with performances by country's biggest stars. Trace Atkins and Kristen Chenoweth host the American Country Awards. You'll see it live on Fox tomorrow, 8 Eastern, 7 Central. 12-yard line, the Rams take over on offense. Worth mentioning once again that the performance by Alex Smith, amazing to clinch this early as they're 6 minutes and 19 seconds away from the NFC West Division title. As Norwood carries, two other 49er teams clinched in week 12, but this is the 12th game when you talk about bye weeks. Considering where they were a year ago, that's quite a leap.
And what's amazing is when you look at Jim Harbaugh and this team, without question, and I know we still got ball to play, there's the coach of the year in the National Football League. You're staring at him right there in Jim Harbaugh because for the most part, and I know Aldon Smith, the rookie, has had a big year and has done some great things today. This is the same football team. It's the same personnel. It's the same guys. And as a team, collectively, they're playing outstanding football.
Norwood carries, and along the lines of what Mike Singletary talked about, great defense, run the ball, but there's some other element that Jim Harbaugh has brought. There's amazing intensity, but a personal connection to his players.
No, and he plays coy with the media outside of the locker room and doesn't give you a whole bunch and is not going to play the big media game, somewhat Belichickian, if you will. But in that locker room, behind closed doors, this guy is a player's coach, and the players love him.
On 3rd and 3. They run it. It'll be 4th down. That's Norwood. And Jim Harbaugh, you think you know a guy from intensity? His favorite movie all time, It's a Wonderful Life, starring Jimmy Stewart, which happened to be on last night. And, you know, you talk about a story that has a sentimental side to it. Jim Harbaugh has that. I think the players realize that. And if he wasn't coaching football, Tim, he said, you know, I would be an equipment manager. I'd work on the
he's
field.
A throwback.
I'd do something
a football throwback.
related
He's a football lifer. His dad was a coach. His brother's a coach.
Jones, the punt. Kyle Williams on the run with the fair catch. We talked about the 49er defense not allowing a rushing touchdown this year. And let's go back historically. We dug out of the film vault. Tim rolled the projector. The 1928 Providence Steamroller, the last team.
What's in the bucket?
That did not allow a rushing touchdown in 11 consecutive games. This will be the 12th for the 49ers. Now, they won Pro Football's championship in 1928 under the player manager, and he was later a Hall of Famer, Jimmy Conselman. Put the projector, Tim, quick. All right.
But tape just cut out.
We've come a long way, and a lot has changed, but good defense is good defense when it comes to stopping rushing touchdowns, as Anthony Dixon carries for the 49ers.
And talking to Patrick Willis, 305 opponent rush attempts, last rushing touchdown, Steven Jackson, day after Christmas last year. He said that's important. I mean, we think about those things. We think about not giving up a 100-yard rusher in really 2 full seasons now when you look at those numbers. Those things are important to them. They take pride in it, and they certainly believe in what they're doing, and that's obvious.
That's Frank Gore reaching out to the fans. Has to be an emotional moment. A record-setting day personally and team-wise. And that's something Alex Smith said right away, that Jim Harbaugh brought attention to detail. The concentration was on football and the emphasis on team. They really, that selflessness here has really played out to a man. They each said the atmosphere is very different that way.
Well, I think Carlos Rogers, the corner, was a testament to that, right? And I mean, he said it point blank. He said, this is a team here that has really gelled together fast, because you think of the lockout, no off season. You know, training camp, they crammed everything in 4 or 5 weeks, and they've been able to gel together. Carlos says, when he was in Washington, he had a lot of great individuals, but they never played as a football team. This is a cohesive unit of 53 guys and the coaches, and it's obvious.
Anthony Dixon carries, and that's something players appreciate, the hard work being put in the best position. 49ers will go on the road to take on Arizona next. They're locked in a tie with the Cowboys. That Monday night game ought to be crazy here against the Steelers. Then they're at Seattle and at St. Louis. But going to 10-2, that number 2 seed is important. With New Orleans playing tonight, only 3 losses, because you want that first round bye if you can get it.
That's right. And I think that, you know, New Orleans is playing great football, and they'll be hot on their trail. But these 49ers are just so consistent. Defensively in particular, you know, everybody's upset about the Baltimore loss. They gave up 16 points and 253 yards against the Baltimore Ravens. It was a one-play game.
There's a flag down as Lee boots the ball.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
And you know what? At the end of the day, as good as it's been for Jim Harbaugh and his football team, it's been equally as bad for Steve Spagnuolo and his on the other side, with a lot of things, Chris, out of their control. in terms of the injuries.
Including Sam Bradford, who with a bad ankle missed the start. Jay Feely starting his 3rd game of the year, and the offensive line beat up, unable to get into the end zone. Rams want to avoid a shutout. 49er fans and that defense want to keep the Rams from scoring. 55-yard punt. Tim Ryan, Chris Myers, we thank you for watching the NFL on Fox here in San Francisco. And when you look at what Jim Harbaugh has done, I think that playing experience in the NFL, a college head coach making the transition from Stanford right here, it's been a smooth transition for him.
And that's really against the grain. I mean, you think of the Nick Sabans, you think of these guys recently with Bobby Petrino that have gone from the college game to the pro game, and they have not had the success. But I'm telling you, Jim's personality, who he is, what he was as a successful NFL player, and how he looks through the game, really not as a player now, but as a coach. And he's been able to put all that player stuff behind him. And even Vic Fangio told us that. He said all that stuff's behind him now, and he is a full-blown coach. That's how he approaches the game. But the lens that he looks through, Chris, has been a huge asset for Alex Smith, looking at it as a quarterback.
And they don't want just to clinch. The standards are high here in San Francisco.
Get him?
And the Rams with Charius Norwood running the football, and 150 and counting. Jim Harbaugh is lightning quick still. The Gatorade splash from his team. Look at how quickly he gets out.
Oh, he's still got the reflexes.
Joe Staley, Frank Gore tried to set him up.
Brian Jennings, the longest tenured 49er, the 12-year guy, was setting him up.
And Brian Jennings, the only player remaining.
Jimmy's still quick.
Remaining from the last time the 49ers made the playoffs.
Look at Joe Staley, the dumper, pouring the Gatorade on him, dumping the jug.
It's been a long 9 years for 49er fans. Gibson does hold on their way to their first division title since 2002. Our producer today, Mike Burks, director Tom Yohe, associate director Brian Biederman, broadcast associate Matt Saldana, James Petralka, and Emmett McGuire up on the booth. Nice to have your son Timmy here. Plays high school ball at where's he playing?
Valley Christian.
Yeah,
in San Jose.
6 sacks this year.
Played well. I love getting them around these guys and these coaches, and even the St. Louis Rams. Everybody's so kind to them. It's really a lot of fun.
To meet the players. We appreciate all of our technical crew, camera production, and in the truck. Frank Phillips oversees the gang, puts them together every week to bring you the best in the NFL. And the glory days of the 49ers. 18th NFC West division title as time ticks down.
And you know what? Jim Harbaugh, he'll tell you that it's just the next game that's the most important. He knew how important this one was, and as they called it, this is a hat and shirt game. We want the hat, we want the shirt at this one as NFC West champions. And Chris, they've been able to do it. Impressive.
And the first team this NFL season to lock up a division title. Jim Harbaugh led by Frank Gore. Now the 49ers all-time leading rusher. And 2 touchdowns from Alex Smith as the 49ers shut out the Rams and clinch the NFC West.